Hi guys, welcome to Beyond the Torch. I'm Carlos and this is Dustin. And in this episode, we get to follow Dustin on his trip to Murano and he visits Davide Penso's studio. Davide Penso's studio.
Yeah, totally. I'm really happy to share this with you guys. I went to Murano with a few friends a couple months ago and finally got the video edited and ready to show you guys. And we wanted to start off the new year with a nice video for you guys. So we're gonna go to Murano in this video, make this collab, which is a nice necklace. It's kind of a woman's necklace, but definitely a guy could sport it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the right style.
With
right?
the right style. With the pink shirt. With the pink shirt.
Then you can pull it off. Absolutely. So we're gonna get to see some of Murano. Yeah. We're gonna see Dustin work on this cool project. And what else has been going on with you, Dustin?
Well, a lot I want to share with you guys. For the last 2 months, I've been working with my dad. His name is Alan Revere, and he's a master goldsmith. And I took an intensive jewelry making class, and I got some pieces here. I'll hold them up. You guys can get a nice view. Carlos will do a nice close-up for you. But here's a bracelet I made, just like a chain. I made it all from scratch. A bunch of rings with some settings. I made this platinum ring a couple days ago. But yeah, I've been working with metal, been trying to do some interesting ideas with combining precious metals and glass.
Nice.
If you guys watch on Instagram, I'll be putting up some pieces pretty soon. Definitely, it's really great to have a beginner's mind and to be where I'm normally really good and I can just think of something and I make it to a point where I really have to concentrate on the steps again. Sure. And I want to give you guys all tons of props because it's hard work. It's hard work being a beginner and messing things up and not coming out the way that you wanted and then learning. But it's a really great process and it's really healthy. So I'm definitely glad to have done it and to have a small skill set now in precious metal where I'll maybe be able to combine the two mediums. Somehow. We'll see. We'll see.
Can't wait to see some of that. Definitely. That's awesome, man, for sure. And we've still making those droplets too. We have those beautiful droplets, worked and clear ones. This is some of your work you did in Italy, right?
Yep. Here's another piece from the last trip in Italy, and then we have another video coming up really soon that shows me working with the Ballerine brothers. They have 700 years experience. They were the guys who I worked with last time, and we have another video of that coming out really soon.
Yeah, I was there a little while ago and I got to work with them as well. That piece right there was made in Murano, and they're such amazing guys, really. Like you said, 7 generations of glass
700
blowing.
years.
700 years of glass blowing, and they're just so open and they want to learn more. You know, a lot of times old school glass blowers have kind of shunned the pipe making world. These guys have welcomed us with open arms, and yeah, they're really great people, and they're going to be coming to the States to work here with us for a little bit. That's going to be really exciting. We'll make sure to get some footage for you guys for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely have them do a little demo for you guys, and they're going to be here in a couple weeks, for a couple weeks, so we should have some time to do some different projects. It'll be really fantastic for you guys to see a lot of detail about how these guys work. And speaking of people's work and especially improving, Carlos's tree rigs have gotten so much better over the last year. I don't know if you guys have been following him on Instagram at Los1Glass, but his work has got just cleaned up, gotten super tight, and
thanks so much, man. I've been putting in a lot of work trying to really get those details in there, and I appreciate you saying that so much. So yeah, those trigs have been coming out there. Right now this is a little collab that I have with Kristen, one of our ex-students from Revere. She really was into the female body since the beginning when she came in, right? Absolutely. And so when she first started blowing glass, that's what she wanted to do. And so we got her through the basics, and now she's shaping these great torsos and really taking it to the next level. So I'm excited to what this year's going to bring, and we're going to keep pushing it for you guys and getting a lot of videos out there for sure.
Yep, we have a structure in place to be able to produce a lot of videos, and please subscribe, give us the thumbs up, and we'll definitely be launching some new videos on a very regular basis in 2017. make sure that you stay to the end if you watch the Jesus Seal video to win this. And I guess, why don't we go to Murano?
Let's do it.
But before we go, we should definitely
take some dabs. Let's do it.
What are you dabbing on?
I got some of this sour diesel flower rosin from 2 Ton Extracts. I got some Larry OG from Golden Ratio, and also some of their Tangy Crumble from Golden Ratio.
Nice.
Oh, so many flavors. So many flavors. What do you got over there?
I have crystallized CBD. I'm gonna try to pull out a piece so you guys can see like how big these crystals are getting. They're crazy. But yeah, this is crystallized CBD, 100%.
You can show it to this camera too, right here.
99.9% pure, and it's crazy. It feels really relaxing. It tastes like cherries. So yeah, lucky to have that crystallized CBD.
Some beautiful medicine right there.
All right, well, we'll take some dabs. We'll take a trip to Murano with you guys, and we'll see you in a second. All right, guys, so here I am in Murano, just getting ready to blow some glass. It's so beautiful here. It's picturesque, and every time I go to visit, it's just magical and romantic and beautiful. That's a trash boat going by. And so the first shop we went to visit was Davide Penso.
Yeah, Venice is just such an amazing place. Like you said, it's really just a magical place, and the art is magical there as well. And here we see a little bit of the studio and the guys getting ready.
Hello to everybody, my name is Davide Penso. I work in Murano since 3 generations, but I'm the first working with the glass. It happened. What I have to do, I just start to do like this. Today is a special day because here in Murano we have a special guest from States. His name is Dustin Revere. Everybody probably knows already. He's a Boro boy working with wonderful stuff and work. And this day we are going to work together, side by side, with the interesting project about maybe one jewelry, but I don't want to tell much. It will be a surprise. So stay connected, stay tuned, and see you later.
And there is Davide Penso, a little introduction and a little bit about his work. He's an amazing artist that uses soft glass, so we had to think of an idea that we could both work on the same project. You know, obviously borosilicate and soft glass are non-compatible, so I made the centerpiece of the necklace, and Davide made the 2 long beads and the clasp and put it all together.
Yeah, and here Dustin's starting to work some of this tubing that we're going to use for the main part of this necklace here. He's getting his tube connected there so we can set up a nice blank.
Yeah, that's just some black vac stack tubing that I made ahead of time. I had to make a lot of prep work ahead of time because the tools are different everywhere, and sometimes you don't have anything, so I'm just going in, wiping off my glass and gonna take off a section so that I can make a nice black twisted up section.
Working that tubing with that nice snub nose Mirage from GTT, just such a great travel torch.
Yeah, it's really small and it just fits in my bag, and I can take it anywhere, and it produces such a good flame. So I bring all my tools. I brought my V-blade with me, and I have a set of travel tools that I bring, including the snub-nose Mirage, and I just pack that up and travel and bring it places as I go blow glass.
Yeah, here Dustin is just breaking off some of that tubing using that V-blade. He made a nice mark, cold mark there, and then broke that off, and now he's gonna clean that end off.
Yeah, you can see it's a nice clean break that happens with the V-blade. You can also get the infinity rollers, which you see sometimes when I work on my own station, which are really cool.
Yeah, and here Davide's studio is really well equipped and stuff. Sometimes Dustin has to travel other areas where it's not so well equipped, so he travels with all his stuff ready to go. But luckily here, he pretty much had everything he needed.
Yeah, he's sponsored by the same person who makes my jacks. Roberto Donna is the name of the company, and Carlo Donna is the craftsman. But you can see behind me that there's a whole wall full of tools on the left side as you're looking at the video, and that's a whole wall full of Donna tools.
Yeah, that'll make a lot of the glass blowers jealous right there.
Yeah. And it's simple. I mean, you guys can see he's got a pretty simple ventilation. The studio is really small. It's probably 20 feet by 15 feet. something like that. You were there too, right, Louis?
No, I didn't get a chance to stop by his studio when I was down there, unfortunately.
Next time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a little while ago I got to make a trip down to Venice as well and visit some of the studios there. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to Davide's, but I got to see some amazing stuff down there for sure.
Yeah, and like we said earlier in the intro, the Ballerine brothers are coming to my studio in a couple weeks, and we'll be sure to give you an update about that. But it's really exciting that we're getting to exchange all this information about glass and culture, and I'll visit their studio in Murano and collaborate, and they're going to come to my studio, and my studio's very well equipped for the specific style of glass blowing, like theirs is for their style. And so as we're making pipes, and we're going to be in the best equipped studio that we've ever been in for making pipes, which is really exciting.
Yeah, we're super excited about those two worlds kind of coming together to here in Berkeley for the first time. It's going to be really, really fun. But here Dustin's just kind of working this blank, getting it ready so we can start processing it into the pendant. Davide's just kind of watching, talking, having some fun as he likes to do.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to hang out with. And what's up, Davide? I'm sure you're going to check this out, but we have such a good time when we visit you and go out to dinner and go on the boat rides. I mean, it's just it's a crazy adventure. So thank you for being such a great host to us when we visit Murano. So I'm just twisting it up because if I'm going to twist up, and especially when I make a disc, if I twist up the color tubing, that's line tubing, it blows out way better as opposed to just blowing it with the lines straight, because it'll make little ridges and have an uneven blowout. So you twist them up and then blow it out, and it's a much more even situation.
Nice, yeah. So Dustin's just working that blank, that section from that tube that he pulled, evening out the end here, and gonna do the same thing.
So yeah, now I'm just heating up and bringing it down. You can see the lines are twisted at this point, so I'm gonna melt it, blow it out a little bit, get it right into the right shape that I need to, and you can see all those little twisted lines in there. Yeah, it's really cool. Davide has all kinds of little beads and parts. He's mostly a jewelry maker, but he makes this really high fashion kind of, it's like artifact and also like kind of like African but modern. It's really cool.
Yeah, beautiful work for sure. And he's reached, like you said, that high-end kind of jewelry market as well, for sure.
Yeah, and I know that you guys saw the piece at the beginning. We'll show it to you again at the end. But we're going to put this one available on the Instagram, and you guys can check it out there.
Awesome. So Dustin's blowed out that tubing a little bit more. We start to see that shape come together. He's opened up that other end, and he's going to switch his axes there.
Yep. And I'm just going to attach the blow tube and take off the other blow tube, and then I'll be able to blow out the back side of that and melt it in, blow it out, and make it all even all the way through the whole piece.
And this is how we're basically building that disc that you guys saw on the pendant. A slow process of blowing out that bubble, then collapsing it, evening it out. And that's why we switch the access point there.
Mm-hmm. So I just pulled off any clear glass and any like black glass that was not the line straight, or any other end pieces that kind of make it uneven. I pull that off, use the water there on the front of the desk and the can to knock it off, and then just heat it back up, and I'll bring that all into one nice bubble shape.
We really see that starting to come into shape now, getting that nice large bubble there.
And you can see that spiral coming all the way to the end, and that would be cool, a super cool termination if that was like a multicolored line work tube, but with the black it all melts together. So then Davide got on the bench and started blowing some glass, and I got my color tubing out so that I can make the wigwag. You see that I'm holding it with a Kevlar pad just because the kilns aren't really set up to do multi-section work, and so I had to put it in the kiln like most of the way and then take it out, so it's not as easy as our kilns, where there's a little kiddie door and you can just grab it with one hand and then start working it. With this, just takes a little bit more finesse, and dealing with stuff that's not necessarily
ideal. Yeah, definitely. You have to place the whole tube in there, therefore when you bring it out, you're gonna have to find a way to grab it, right? So Davide made that nice little repair just real quick, and now he's just waiting for that to cool while Dustin continues the process on the pendant here.
Yeah, at this point, like we had an initial design, and Davide is kind of just waiting to see the colors I use and the patterns, and then he's gonna blow out his sections and for the piece here.
Yeah.
But you guys have seen me do a ton of wigwags, but if you want a more detailed description and references, there's videos that we've done in the past, how to make a wigwag, how to make a wigwag pipe, those kind of things, and you'll be able to catch much more of the detail.
Yeah, Dustin did his best to get some good footage for you guys while I was out there, but we were a little bit more limited. We have just a tripod, and then we have Jim actually helping out with the filming. But these angles, they get some good footage, but if you want that good detail, we have a bunch of videos for the wigwags that'll give you all that stuff for sure.
Yeah, we definitely want to thank Jim, and there he is right there. When we were working, we got an oxygen delivery, and this was pretty cool because you guys will check out how they did this. So they don't use any liquid oxygens. There's only a few generators on the whole island, so they have to do it all with tanks. And as you guys know, there's no cars in Murano or in Venice except on the island of Lido, so they have to do it by boat. So they go out to the oxygen boat, and anyone in Murano should be really looking into the HVO system because this is such a pain. I'm sure it's ridiculously expensive to bring them over like this, but they have this crane. You can see they'll just pick up that thing right there and grab it and pop it back into the boat.
Yeah, and this is how basically everything gets delivered in Venice and Murano. It's how the trash gets picked up. It's how like your produce gets delivered. Everything is by boat. So
and there they go, just off to the next studio. Driving through 1,000-year-old cities. You can see that church is probably 1,000 years old.
As one pulls away, the other one pulls in. Yeah.
So there we go. Davide's grooving to the music. Probably some classic 80s rock because they love that over there. Love it.
Nice. Gotta have your 80s jams for sure. And Davide's studio is also a storefront, right? So that's why you guys might see some people coming in and saying hello. All his work is available there, and people are able to see him work, which is really cool. That's how a lot of the studios down there are set up.
And people come from all over the world. You can definitely see people from every part of the world coming to visit the glass island and to see the glass blowing there. It's got a huge reputation, so it's really cool to see all these different travelers that come in, looking for jewelry or glasses or chandeliers. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we see Dustin working that wigwag a little bit. He's got a few already done. He's getting to the center of that, just heating a little section up at a time, making those twists, and making sure you keep that nice and even and straight. Like we said, we have more detail on wigwags and other videos. Just look that up just by searching wigwag.
Yeah, and you can see Jim in the corner there from Red Ox, and you guys should definitely check out what he does. He has a company in Montana that makes really cool bags that are really tough and really good for travel.
Yeah.
So it's the bag that I carry all my tools in. And if you mentioned to him that you saw it in the video, I know that he does offer a discount to the people, to the REVERE Glass community.
That's awesome. Yeah, super sturdy bags that aren't gonna fail you when you need them.
I think they have like a lifetime warranty if they do fail too.
Yeah, well there you go. So you're covered regardless. So here Dustin has made all the kinks on the wigwag, and now he's condensing that down, blowing that out a little bit.
Yep, so you can just see I'm pushing it. And this is like making just a big wigwag at this point. So I'm just heating up a larger section, pushing it together, and it's like Carlos said, it's creating more of a sharper angle on the edge of those kicks.
Yeah, so he's separated the punty that he had that connected to, and now he's evening out that end, making sure it's nice and even there, and talking a little bit about how the project's gonna go with Davide.
Yep, he's getting ready. He's getting his glass mojo going. And there's Jim filming. Thank you, Jim, for that. Nice close-up shots.
Yeah, thank you very much for all these great shots. It really, he did a great job getting some good details there for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, when I travel, it's not, the same, we don't have the same setup for glass blowing or videography.
Yes.
So we just try to do our best to kind of bring you guys as much detail as we could, being so far away.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes Beyond the Torch might not have the same production quality that On the Torch might, but we try to do the best we can to make it on par.
But you guys will see an adventure, so
Exactly.
that's the trade-off. So you can see Davide starting to work, and he's heating up some glass there, and I think he's getting ready to probably melt some glass down and make some beads for the necklace.
Yeah, he's got his color in the flame now, and has a tube ready, one of those solid blowout tubes that you've seen Dustin use before. And this is the soft glass, the original kind of use for them.
Yep.
And we're gonna see Davide working that bead soon here, as Dustin finishes up the wig-wag ball.
Yep, so I'm just pulling it off, switching the access. I'm going to work on that termination, and Davide is melting down his rod, getting it ready. And there's Federico. We got to give him a shout out. You guys have seen him in a couple videos before. He's my good friend from Italy. He translates for me. He comes and works with me in my studio a couple times a year, and I get to visit him in Italy. And he's an amazing host, so we really want to thank Federico for dropping his life and just helping us whenever we go there.
Absolutely.
He hung out with you too there.
Yeah, man. When I was out there, it was like I felt like I was really living kind of the Italian lifestyle because of Federico. He just kind of dropped everything, hung out with me and my girlfriend, and like took us everywhere. Like you said, helped us with translation. Introduced me to Lambrusco.
Lambrusco.
Oh. Lambrusco, if you guys have not tried Lambrusco, it's a sparkling red wine from the Modena region in Italy where Federico is from, and it's just like the most delicious like adult beverage ever, I feel. And so definitely go try some Lambrusco. And Federico, amazing human being, just a great person all around. His Instagram is at FedEx Glass.
At FedEx.
Yeah, so make sure you check out his work. He's really kind of become an ambassador for European and American glass culture in a lot of ways, Sure. So he's working with some of the people at the Barcelona Flame Off over there, or the European Flame Off, and Federico's awesome person.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys will always see more of him. I know that he's going to be in he's coming here to work with me in the ballerines in a couple weeks. So you guys will be able to see him. So you can see that the techniques for doing this are very different for soft glass and for borosilicate. Davide has blown a little bubble in there, and he's just putting on some lines to make the pattern for the bead. We would probably do that differently with a hotter flame, melt that in more than he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. The way soft glass works compared to boro, very different. There's a lot of similarities, of course, but there's little things that'd be very different if you were trying to accomplish that same goal, right? So now he's melted some of that color in. He's attached a punty to one end, and he's going to heat that whole area up and start working it a little bit more. There we see it really, really starting to get hot and kind of wobbly there. He's going to start to blow that out a little bit and pull out that bead.
There he goes. You see him blow it out, and it's super soft. It like moves really fast comparatively to borosilicate. Like it's soft enough that if he stopped turning it, it would actually just drip off the blowpipe.
Yeah, and so he's just kind of trying to keep it even and then grabbing it with some tweezers and starting to pull it out. and this is going to create a nice even hollow section going all the way through it that he can then feed something through to create that necklace.
And you can see he's got a graphite like billet there that he can shape things with, and
he gives it that nice curve so it fits nicely around the neck, and then he uses his diamond shears to open that end up there.
Now he's just got that other end, so he'll clean up the first end that he's taken off, and then take it off the other end and just make a really nice clean semicircle. That'll be a long bead for the necklace. You see Jim working to get the best shots ever.
Absolutely, getting those nice
back
angles.
there. I'm getting the best shots.
And we here see Davide going in on another bead here. Same kind of technique. He makes a nice big gather and then starts working his color on top of that in the pattern that he wants to set up.
Yeah, so he's just going back in. We got Jim getting the shot, Federico walking around. You can see him checking everything out. And I think he's like listening to some music there on his iPad. Music's super important in any glass studio, no matter where in the world it is. That's one thing I've definitely learned.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So much.
Gotta have those tunes. Gotta have those tunes. So he's punted up to that gather now, heating it up, getting it really, really, really hot, getting it ready to blow out.
Pushing it together, making it all nice and even, trying to get the heat as nice as possible on there. Getting the really nice soaking heat, he'll blow it out, and it's a lot easier to blow out, but you have to be a lot more sensitive on how much air you're putting in it. You can see it's just flopping around. It's so hot.
Yeah, and then he's gonna grab his tweezers to start to elongate that, pull it out, give it some heat, puff into it, and then bring it over to the mold again and give it that nice bend.
Yep, there it is. And now we're just going back in and gonna make that the right shape. He has to always keep heat on the blow tube because it's metal and it doesn't want to be stuck to glass, and so it's always fighting that. So as it cools down, it's just going to get more and more uncomfortable and want to break off of that little section.
Yeah, so he opens up one end of the bead and then now he's going to separate the other end where it connects to the tube using some finishing tools there.
You can see a nice shot of some of this stuff on the side of his shop. He's got kind of crazy jewelry everywhere, and you see the oxygen tanks there. So it's a pretty simple setup. He's just got a little storefront. I mean, it could exist anywhere in the world really, and you guys could have a little spot and show your work and, you know, work on the bench and let people come in and talk to you and show them what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. People love to see the way these things are created a lot of the time. Glass a lot of the times is very mysterious and esoteric kind of for people, so when they actually get to see how it's done, they're even more amazed most of the time, right? And they see why it's so valuable in the process and just because of the shape of, or the glass itself, you know?
Yeah, so I'm just connecting the two sections I made. I have the wigwag section, just pulling that out where there was any punny marks, and I connect that to the black section with the twist. I'm going to blow that out so it's one large sphere, and then condense it down so it's a disc for the centerpiece of the necklace.
Yeah, so here he's heating it up, condensing it down, puffing into it to blow it out till it starts becoming more and more even and part of a whole section rather than two separate parts. Making sure you keep that section nicely centered in the front of that. You don't want it to go off because it will distort the shape.
Yeah, and so now I'm just letting half of it kind of collapse in on itself and going to create the flatness of the front of it. And I'm going to make this one a pipe, of course, because, I mean, what else could I make with all this beautiful glass? But no, for real, I like the statement that, like, you're going to look at this piece and you're going to appreciate its beauty and then you're not even gonna know it's a pipe, or it's gonna be a secret. It's kind of like a secret you could wear to a gala or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's makes you think twice about what you consider art, what you don't consider art, what you consider paraphernalia.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the beauty about any pipe. It makes a statement just by being a pipe.
Yep.
You know.
I totally agree. So I'm just popping a little hole on the side there, and that's going to be the mouthpiece eventually, but I'm going to connect a blow tube after I change the access. So I'm going to punny up to the flat spot, take off the blow tube, condense that back down, and then I'll be able to attach the blow tube to the piece and kind of finish out the shaping of this pipe.
Yeah, important to give it a nice heat after you've blown out that hole. Make sure that it's nice and warm. Now we're switching our connection. First connecting just the solid rod here, and then removing that, and then we'll connect the tube to the open section.
Yeah, and I'm going to heat that up and probably pull off a little bit of that glass to make the amount of glass on each side even. So I'm just going to grab in my tweezers, pull some of that off, and then kind of reduce the amount of glass so that when it collapses, it's an even amount on the front and on the back of the piece.
And here Davide is going through his all his tools to find some tweezers for you. He's got so many options.
Totally. Try to pull it off in an even way so that there's not a lot of folding or anything else that's going to disrupt the fluidity of the shape.
Getting some nice heat at the back end there so we can remove a little bit more, let it collapse down, see how it's shaping up, and then you can decide how much more you need to take off from there.
Yep. So I'm just pulling off a little bit more, trying to reduce that, and I'm pulling it and letting it get to a very small stringer and just like reduce in size until it can't take the heat anymore and just kind of rips off. You can see the wigwag in the front there, different lines. It's a rainbow wigwag. Letting it condense, so I'm heating it up, letting it condense and condense right in the flame. I just have it on a punny still, and so the air is going out of the hole and allowing it to condense, just kind of trying to put a lot of heat on the face and get that flat. And then once it gets flat and white enough, I can go back in with my Soffietta and just blow it right into shape just a little bit. There you go, the Soffietta.
Nice little soft puffs just to even that out, and now we're ready to switch that axis again.
So I'm gonna heat it up, blow tube, and get ready to attach it, and just attach right there, and then I'll be able to detach the punny, and almost done with the piece, but have to push that bowl first.
Yeah, making sure that connection is nice and straight. And then we can remove a little bit of that glass that was left there, evening out that end point.
Yeah, that's where the punny was connected to the wigwag. And I'm just removing a little bit of the clear glass and the color glass that came off of the punny because they didn't have all the right punnies and clear glass in Italy that I used, so I had to use a colored punny. So there was a little residual left there on the face, so I pulled that and a little bit of clear off the face, so it'll just have a nice even face over the wigwag. Just heating it up, keeping it hot. I think Davide is looking for something.
I think a nice paddle.
Yeah.
Yep, looks like you're looking for a paddle to flatten that down a little bit.
Totally.
And make it even more of a flat disc.
Yeah, so I'm just heating it up, and then I'm going to push it down with my paddle and just, like Carlos said, make it a little bit flatter and a little bit skinnier, and then I'll have the final shape that I'm looking for. Because it's a wearable piece, so you have to be conscious of how much weight it is and what size it is.
Yeah, how it's gonna lay on the chest there. You know, you don't want it to like be puffing out too much. A nice flat pendant, especially in that style, looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
So heating it up nice and evenly, making sure that you don't distort the shape that you've worked so hard to create, right?
Totally.
And then just giving it some little flattening with the paddle, a little bit of puffing into it while you're doing it as well.
Yeah, you can see I have it mostly into a disc. It's about the size of a hockey puck right now, and just kind of giving a really nice even heat. And generally the heat tends to stay towards the front when you're doing this, so it's really important to be conscious of bringing some of that heat back right to the point where you can't control it. So you want to stop right before that point where it's going to get too hot on the blow tube, because you want it hot enough to move in the back when you paddle it, but cold enough so it doesn't flop around. So you can see a really nice even heat on that whole piece at this point.
So now that we've got the shape that we like, Dustin's gonna open up the hole for our bowl there.
Yep, gotta bring a bowl push to Italy. I don't think they have those there yet.
Yeah, those are few and far between, right?
So I'm just going around and heating up the hole where I'm gonna put the bowl, push my bowl in there. It's always feels good to push a bowl in Murano.
Absolutely.
Push it down, you can see. And then that'll be on the back of the necklace. You guys will see it when at the end of the video, some of the close-up shots. But yeah, it's really hidden. When you wear the piece, you don't notice that there's a bowl in the back, kind of like the belt buckles that I've made and that people have seen around.
Yeah, exactly. So it just looks like a heady wigwag pendant from the front, and then in the back you see that it's actually a functional piece as well.
So put that little carb on the side of the bowl, so it's also in the back, but kind of towards the front. There's a carb.
And here you got a little teamwork to finish that one off.
Oh yeah, that's right. The wall was real thick there. I remember going in a couple times trying to blow that out. So Davide was blocking the bowl hole while I blew the carb.
Great shot of Italian and American glass coming together right there, right?
There. So we're gonna go in and just finish that up, open it up a little bit, and then I can give the whole thing a really nice even heat before I put it in the kiln. And last year when I went to Italy, we tried to make this same piece, and the kiln was still set for soft glass, so it cracked and never made it out of the kiln. So we had to resurrect it, and I'm making sure that I give it a really nice heat and everything before I put it in the kiln this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the worst when something like that ends up ruining a nice piece, right?
You know, it's kind of part of the
it's part of it, for sure.
process. Sometimes it happens, but I think before that I have to add on a little bail.
Ah, yes, absolutely. Yes, that's the piece that the whole piece will hang off of, so that's important.
So I'm just going around the mouthpiece and thickening that up, and I'm making sure it's really good for when I detach it. And then I have the color rod that I'm going to melt in and make a little section for the bail to stick on. And I'm just going to make a matching bail with some of that line tubing that I use for the wigwag.
Yeah, that rainbow line tubing will look great as a little bail.
Yeah. You want to be conscious of like which side you put it on, and do you want the purple and green on the front, or the red and the orange on the front? Or are you going to twist it? So, you know, these little kind of design details you can think about while you make your piece. So I got the end there, talking about the bail. I'm going to take a little bit of tubing off of the line tubing, and I put the other piece in the kiln for a second.
Using that V-blade to break off the section of line tubing that you want to use for that bail, and starting to work that end.
Yeah, just gonna try to make sure each opening is the same, and punny up opposite to where I want to attach it, all that good stuff.
Yeah, real important that your bail has nice even wall thicknesses at either end, like Dustin said. It makes it look really clean compared to if one opening's bigger than the other.
Mm-hmm. All the little details important to pay attention to. So I'm gonna go in, open it up a little bit. I think those are some little jacks. Or what am I using there?
I think
Oh, I just got some color.
Yeah, just some color. I think you're gonna punty up here.
Yeah.
And
Right.
work that line tubing, stretch it out a little bit so you can get the right size that you need there.
Yeah, so I can take off the other tube, and so I have a hole on each end, and then I'll be able to adjust the holes and make it all nice and even. So you can see I'm pulling off, breaking off the opening. I'm gonna open it up with some, pull off any excess glass, and then I'll be able to flatten it and open it up to the right size. On that punny, that's the attachment there, you can sometimes bend that in, and so it'll be like an L shape, and that'll create a really on-center piece if you need it, if you're going to be working it for a long time. So the wigwag had steel wool lines in it, so I put the steel wool towards the back and the rainbow in the front. I'm just heating that up, the connection point.
Making sure that is a nice seal there where that bail came together with everything, and then removing it from the tube.
So I just have it on the punny now. Almost at the end here, I'm going to open up the mouthpiece a little bit, make that even, knock it off the punny, and go in with my mini torch and pull off that last little piece that was left on there. Usually that breaks off a little cleaner, but there was a little crack in the rod, so it left off about 1 millimeter of glass, and so I'm going to pull that off with my tweezers. Careful not to pull it off the bench though. So it's moving closer and closer.
Yeah, right. So yeah, give it some nice heat, little assistance there to hold it on the bench, and then you can remove the rest of it. Sometimes those things happen, and instead of freaking out, you just go through and remove that little bit of glass, you know?
So I'm going to grab it with one of these tools, pop it in the kiln, and here's a good shot of Davide's workshop. There's the camera set up over there in the gallery, and then that night we had a party, and we invited, there's Maximiliano, Davide Salvador, Federico, my friend Aura, and everyone is dancing and having
just a good old time.
A good old time. This was like a master glass blower party. Like in that crowd there was like Lucio Bubacco, Davide Salvador, Davide Penso,
all the ballerine brothers were there.
Yeah. There's Donatello and
Dustin Revere.
Yeah, I guess I was there too. It was a lot of fun. Davide threw a nice little party for us. That's the Vaporetto boat. That's like a bus that'll take you everywhere in Italy, in Murano that you want to go. But thanks you guys, and
here's a necklace, as you can see, nice piece, beautiful wigwag there, and then in the back, it's a functional piece.
Yeah, you can see the rainbow wigwag, you can see the spirals, and this isn't for one of you guys, but if you do comment on this video, we'll send you out one of these murrinis that we made in the last Italian video, and it was made with the inspiration of Italy, and we can throw you one of those guys. So comment on the video, ask questions, and we'll ship out one of those murrinis to you guys. Hey guys, welcome back. We really hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed our journey to Murano together. I know I had such a fun time, and I want to thank Jim from Red Ox for filming, and Federico for translating and being such a good host.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just a really great trip. I had so much fun working with Davide making this necklace, and it's truly a combination of old school, Muranese glass blowing and American pipe making culture, and so it's really an honor to be part of that fusion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's so awesome to see that those two worlds just kind of coming together, and I'm just super excited what the future brings for glass because of that, Yeah.
And make sure you guys stay tuned, because we'll definitely be releasing a video of them here in our studio.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Well, I got some questions for you, Dustin.
Let's do it.
First question is from Amanda Mess. She asks, with the types of seals, the Jesus seals she's referring to, could you pre-blow the holes, then bend the rod and match them up and seal them that way, or would that be less stable?
I just think it would be more work.
Yeah.
And also like the alignment would be maybe a little bit off.
Yeah.
It's really easy as it is.
I think what she's talking about would be more like a double seal, right? Where you have like two openings and then you attach one piece and then the other piece, which is how some people do their recyclers as well. But the Jesus seal, because it just kind of pops together, once you get that, it's a little bit easier, I feel.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's really fun to practice. But definitely double seals. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And maybe we can show you that sometime in the future, though.
Cool. Next question, Max Talbot. He asks, what jacks do you use? Are you going to get he's trying to get the 8-round blade jacks or the 7-inch?
I'm really glad you asked, actually, because I'm really, really happy to show you guys that there's now a jacks that's the Revere style. I worked with Donat for almost 2 years on trying to get these into existence.
Different prototypes, not quite
Why don't you bring up a prototype and also the normal pair?
Sure.
So this is like the perfect size. I'll show you guys the normal pair. This is the normal pair right here. And this is the Revere style. So you can see that it's smaller all the way around. The blades are a little smaller. The back is smaller. It just fits great in your hand. And it's the perfect size for pipe making.
Yeah.
This was one of the prototypes, super mini. It's the only one like that in existence. But these are available, and I know it's the first time I've ever said where to get these in a video, so they're available through Spiral Arts. And what you have to do is you have to call them and just request the Revere style jacks, and they will be able to get them from Italy for you. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to charge, but whatever it is, they're well worth it. I don't make anything on them selling the jacks at all. It was just an honor for me to have one called the Revere style that's specific to pipe making.
Yeah.
So you guys can check that out and then call up Spiral Arts or go to spiralarts.com, send a message to Linda, who's the owner, and tell her that you heard about the Revere style jacks and you'd like a pair. I know there's limited quantity and they only get shipped a couple times a year from Italy, so there might be a wait list, but that's the story. These are the regular jacks. You can see how big they are comparatively. And they're great for a lot of things, but on your everyday work, this is the one
that's going to be the one
I've found has been the best.
So awesome that we now have that size specific for pipe making. You know, these are great for cups and maybe larger things, but you know, that's one that was made by a pipe maker or designed by a pipe maker, made by the great Italian tool maker.
It's an honor, and if you guys can get your hands on a pair, you'll enjoy them for sure.
Awesome. So that explains what jacks you need to get right there. And then we have one more question from Bodhi de C. Does shot glass versus Cymax matter in application, and in what applications does that matter?
Yeah, I mean we've had a similar question before, but basically the rumor is that Cymax is better for fuming or provides different colors and different depths. You'd have to talk to somebody who's like an expert at fuming to really know those differences, but that's generally believed is that Cymax is better for fuming glass and for the colors and other than that, there's really no difference. I mean, the Chinese glass is definitely more shocky, it'll crack easier. Any of the German or Czech glass or American-made glass,
those are the best quality,
generally,
probably.
Works really good. They also have a different colored tint slightly. The Cymax has a slightly like greenish tint, like if you look down through the tube.
Sure.
Some of them have a slightly blue tint, but they're super subtle. There's really very little difference. If you can get your hands on any of those three glasses, the German, Czech, or American, it'll be fine.
Awesome. And so we got to announce the winner of that piece right there, the Jesus seal.
Jesus, Carlos. It's a nice little piece. One of you guys will enjoy it. Who's that gonna go to?
So the winner is Dirtle Scatman, who says it's like the saxophone from Star Wars.
It's exactly like the saxophone from Star Wars. Really good eye. Enjoy your piece and keep on being a Trekkie or a
Star Wars, a Warzy. Yeah, we'll probably get some slack for that one.
No, they're both great. I love them both. So
you like to travel through the universe, no matter what.
No matter what, as long as it's at light speed.
Boom.
I'm good. All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my Instagram for this piece, which I'll be putting up there for sale pretty soon, and also for any other available work. We get asked about lessons a lot. Send a message to info@Revere Glass. We still do private lessons, and I teach in other people's studios. So if you have a small group of people or want me to come teach, just send an email, and I'm booking for the second half of 2017 now.
Awesome. Yeah, shoot us an email, whatever questions you guys have. We'll be glad to help you guys out.
Cool. Thanks, guys.